life forms could get sick too. You have to get better soon, Karkata.
We'll wait here till Faruzan finishes her inspection. In the meantime, I'd like to talk to you about her.
I also want to talk to her about her past. Oh, I also wanted to ask about her past.
Her past, huh? Quite a few people in the academia know about what happened to her. Perhaps it'd be best if I'm the one to tell you. I've told you before that she disappeared for 100 years, right? From her perspective, trapped might be a more apt description.
Trapped?
Her exact words were,
"That ruin was crawling with traps and coded inscriptions from wall to wall. I did all I could to decipher the code and deactivate the traps to escape the ruin, but there was no way out. I lost track of time and I ran out of pen and paper. In the end, I had to use stone shards to write on the walls and on the floor to decipher the code. Then, before I realized it, I ran out of space on the walls and floor. I had to calculate all the possibilities in my mind.
Damn.
After that, my memory started to become fuzzy, and my cognition slowed down.
she doesn't remember anything else, including the location of the ruin and how she finally managed to escape. When she was found in the outskirts of Sumeru a few years ago, she looked exactly the same as she did 100 years prior. However, she was in a stupor and struggled to form sentences. Only after a lengthy recovery period could she speak again.
I can only imagine the mental strife she was in. To be able to write, to have to try to decode and decipher these traps and puzzles to try to escape this ruin trap. To run out of pen and paper, then to run out of wall space, and then have to calculate in your brain. Oh my goodness gracious! And she did that for 100 years, trying to get out of there, and she finally managed to get out. But she couldn't even remember how in the world she managed to get out. She just knows she did it, and she couldn't even formulate sentences. Good lord!
The academia speculates that she must have gotten trapped in an unknown ruin while researching machines a century ago. And because of the ruin's special properties that halted her aging, she was able to use those 100 years to crack the trapping mechanism and then escape. Though she had finally broken free, 100 years had passed. Everyone she knew, and everyone who knew her, was already gone.
That's sad. No wonder she's an Anemo character.
In the end, even the academia had to rely on century-old records in the Akasha to confirm her existence. Don't make that face. I'm not telling you this because I want to drum up sympathy. She wouldn't want others to pity her because of past events. Rather, she sees that period of entrapment as an experimental error. As a researcher, she must accept everything that results from her experiments, even if they don't fall within expectations. Even after going through so much, she's returned to Sumeru and still hasn't given up on her research. Due to changes over the years and drift in academic subjects, she holds some rather strong opinions about the current academia, and she has no shortage of detractors herself. What I want to say is that no matter what era we're in, Faruzan is a true senior researcher in every sense of the word. She has her own deep understanding of various ruins and machines. If there's a chance, you should talk about them with her. It'll definitely be helpful for your journey.
It really will if we encounter more Conjuring machines, especially since I found out that Fontaine is going to be out this year, within the year 2023, which is, oh boy, that's a goal of mine. And not only that, it makes sense that her animal support works well with Wanderer. He a machine himself, so it makes sense that they created a mechanic character, a character who studies mechanics and machinery and mechanisms, to be paired with a character who is by definition a robotic puppet.
Master, Madame Faruzan's done.
Oh? Let's head over. With any luck, she might have figured something out.
I never thought that I'd encounter a restitution module once again after 100 years. Abattoir really installed quite a few impressive things on this. If my guess is correct, this mechanical life form has displayed attempts at self-sustenance before, right? Such as collecting parts to repair itself, for instance?
It has collected parts before, yes.
It used them for something else, but as far as its design goes, it does have a function like that.
I knew it. If I'm not wrong, Karkata's issue lies with its restitution module. Abatui's modified this module extensively, but the core parts and design philosophy are very similar to the principles as I know them. They are all based on principles learned from the ruins.
From the ruins?
The creators of the ruins machine once tried to create a perpetual mechanism that could replace life or even surpass it.
The creators of the ruin machine once tried to create a perpetual mechanism that could replicate or replace life or even surpass it. So is that like the mechanical puppets? Or is that it? That's the only thing that makes sense.
The restitution module is the result of one of their countless attempts. It replicates the behavior of living things to achieve a self-repair function. However, the energy required in maintenance of the module became an issue. Energy consumption? Maintenance? For example, a living thing's heart can deliver nutrients and blood to various organs. However, the bigger the living thing, the more powerful the heart needs to be. Once the heart is damaged, it'll be hard for that living thing to heal itself, and even the function of other organs can be affected. Thus, the attempt wasn't widely adopted. Even 100 years ago, I'd only seen it once before. Oh dear, this is going to be a problem.
Why is that?
Based on my current research, I'll need to swap out the damaged parts in the restitution module to repair Karkata. But like I just said, the module is rare, even by the standards of ancient machines. Not only that, but there is very little related research documentation available. Finding suitable parts would be like trying to find a single gear in the vast desert, to say nothing of the difficulty in making those parts from scratch. One can only wonder where Abatui found the original parts.
I might have an idea. Abatui was, for a time, quite passionate about excavating the Great Red Sand. This was when he had just gotten expelled from the academia.
You mean to say he found a restitution module in the desert? Well, that is indeed possible.
Yeah, especially with all the damn machines running about in the desert.
But the desert's huge! How are we supposed to find the parts that Karkata needs? According to the Academia's records, no similar parts have been found in the Great Red Sand over the past 100 years. If we want to try our luck, we'll have to explore ruins that have never been explored before.
I do know that a Vahumana researcher formed an expedition team after the sandstorms and earthquakes subsided. They are now exploring areas of the desert that used to be difficult to access.
Which is what?
Should we ask them if they've made any new discoveries lately? The chances are slim, but it's at least more effective than running around like headless chickens.
What's the lead researcher's name? Where's the archaeology team currently stationed? Man, archaeology.
His name is Raid. I think he's stationed at the northeast part of the Hypostyle Desert. Let's go look for him once Karkata settles down.
Oh, you and Kale should probably stay. Karkata's condition may be stable, but it would still be better if some of us stay to look after it.
Yeah, so me and Madame Faruzan about to go kick it in the desert.
Besides, you still need to take care of the trouble that the Academia left for me.
Trouble from the Academia? I thought you said you pawned it off to someone else. Wait, don't tell me.
I'll let Kale fill you in on the details. I look forward to seeing your work, Tainari.
That's so effed up. I hate the idea of someone throwing work on me.
A fully automated irrigation system. That's quite the task.
Master, can I help with anything at all? I can go buy things, prepare pen and paper.
Oh, I seem to remember that you have a lot of homework today.
Huh? Oh, yeah, I do.
Well, hurry up and finish it so you can sleep early, or Faruzan will worry. That's the best thing you can do now to help.
Oh, okay.
Get into the desert. Too bad they don't have like a desert as a separate location to mark. Okay, so he over here. Cool. Now, how long this recording been going for? The PlayStation recording goes about 60 minutes at max. So hopefully, I don't think I stopped too much or talked too much during conversations. So hopefully the minutes didn't get taken up. So let's continue. So, oh my goodness gracious! Why is this man messing with this thing?
What is this?
I wonder if they know that this stuff is from the nation of Conria.
Halt! Mr. Raid's permission is required to proceed any further.
We're not outsiders. She's a researcher from the academia.
That still won't do. Mr. Raid told us to keep people away from the ruins so they don't damage the site.
Damage the site? I've excavated more ruins than you've visited restaurants. Which batch of students is Raid from? I want to see him right now.
He isn't at the campsite now. You should all leave. Only he can give you permission to enter.
What a stubborn guy.
We can't just waste our time here like this. Let's wait for the researchers to come back first. Let's go with the first option.
You're right. Even if there is new information, we still have to wait for him to come back so we can ask him about it. So let's just see what we can find out from the people here. I'm going to give that Raid a good talking to when he gets back. Starting from who in the world mentored you?
Basically, that's who raised you, fool. Alright, so let's see what we can talk to around here. Why everybody so spread apart from each other?
The ruins. Don't know anything. We were only hired to deliver water and supplies to them. Forget excavation. They won't even let us get close to the camp where they're staying.
The disrespect is apparent. You a big fella.
This area used to be ravaged by frequent sandstorms, but it's been calm lately for some reason. They say that this was done by a single traveler, but seriously, is such a thing even humanly possible?
It's super humanly possible. You gotta be bred different like me.
That machine looks amazing. Could it be the legendary Ruin Wanderer? The location seems to fit too. Might that legend actually be true?
The Ruin Wanderer. What?
Well, I found out everything I could. Is there anything that stands out to you?
This machine they speak of, it says the hired villagers from our village. This one.
The villagers were hired to deliver supplies, but they haven't been allowed near the campsite. That's definitely odd. However, I'm more concerned about this Ruin Wanderer they speak of. Ruin Wanderer. That's the first time I've heard that name. But that wreckage did seem a bit weird.
What's so weird about it? I hope we run into the Wanderer.
It's a bit far away, and I can't really say for sure from this distance. Perhaps we should ask the villager from before about the legend first.
This has to be talking about Scaramouche. He is the only Ruin Wanderer that makes sense.
What are you guys doing back here?
We don't have to learn more about the legend of the Ruin Wanderer.
I wouldn't blame you for not knowing about it, youngsters. After all, it's a tale that's over a decade old.
And she's going to be pissed.
It's said that this monster, the Ruin Wanderer, traversed through various ruins for centuries. Many adventurers had claimed to see it while exploring. Some said that it was like a giant, while others said that it was like a beast. However, none knew why it wandered the ruins. Then, about 10 years ago, we stopped hearing any news about it in Sumeru. No one has seen it since then, and the legend has since faded into memory. You youngsters probably don't know about the Ruin Wanderer nowadays, but it was famous for centuries.
Wait, didn't he just say this legend came about like 10 years ago? Or am I misunderstanding?
Centuries? Impossible. I heard nothing about it back then. It could only have been around for a few decades at most.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, back then?
Indulge my curiosity for a moment. Why do you think that wreckage is the Ruin Wanderer?
Well, I had also heard that secondhand from...
You heard that nonsense from the Eremites after they got drunk, right?
Dang.
Who are you?
Madam Faruzan, it is a pleasure. I'm Raid, the one who organized this archaeological expedition.
I ain't gonna hold you. I thought Raid was an Eremite. I ain't gonna lie. The name was like Raid. I was like, that's a desert man.
I'd heard of you at the academia, but I didn't expect to run into you here. Truly, it is an honor.
Cool, and this honor is about to be fed to you on a plate of dirt, because she's about to get in your ass cheeks.
And this must be the famous traveler, I presume. What brings the two of you here?
Oh, thank you. But you about to get what she cooking in the kitchen.
Have you found any special contraptions and relics in the ruins that you've been investigating?
I'm ashamed to say that we haven't found anything noteworthy, even though we've been investigating for a while now.
Really? That Ruin Wanderer isn't noteworthy to you?
I'm afraid those are mere rumors. Really, I sometimes wish that those people would put as much effort into their work as they do into gossiping.
You're right, sir. I'll get back to work now.
Yeah, go back to work, man.
The wise do not buy into rumors, so it is said. I believe that you too, Madam Faruzan, do not put any stock into such baseless talk.
It is also said that real knowledge shall come from practice. I can help you research the excavated relics and see if I can find out anything new about them.
Also, here's another word of advice. So all the myths and legends that exist in the world, they all came from somewhere, from some truth. Whether that truth exists or not is irrelevant. Because all fairy tales and myths, like I said before, come from some form of truth. That's why they exist in the first place. Someone had to have seen something, whether it be in a dream, something they experienced, a life experience that they witnessed, or history they witnessed before their eyes, that was like, bro, this is noteworthy, worth preaching about to other people for generations to come.
You can take credit for any new discoveries. I believe this offer to be sufficiently attractive.
Also, what was another thing? Give me a second. Oh, yes. Like some supernatural things or some things of myth, legend that's like, what in the world was this? It's probably something that's not really such a creature, but instead it was some, like a giant fish or a giant animal that they perceived to be this, and it was like, oh, this was a dragon, this was this was that. This was a flying temple in the sky, which is most likely an alien spaceship. But, you know, you get the drift.
In truth, I could ask for nothing better than your help with our research. However, you two must be tired after a long journey. I'd feel bad if I set you to work immediately. It's getting late, and my subordinates and I are heading back to the camp to rest. Why don't you find a place to spend the night first? We can continue our discussion tomorrow.
Won't you invite us into the camp? It sounds a little weird. Tell us to go find a place to sleep tonight.
There's a tent that the villagers occasionally use to rest. It's a bit simple, yes, but I hope you won't mind.
Since you need to rest as well, let's do just that.
There's something fierce about this character. Raid.
There's a tent that the villagers occasionally use to rest. Like I said, it's a bit simple, yes, but I hope you won't mind.
We'll see.
This is quite far away. Are they trying to prevent the villagers from eavesdropping on them? This suits us just fine, though. This way, they won't overhear our conversations either. Now, I have my suspicions about this archaeological expedition team and that machine wreckage. I only caught a quick glimpse, and it was from a distance. But based on the condition of the armor and joints, it didn't seem like something that had been lying around for centuries. At most, I'd estimate that it only stopped moving about a dozen years ago.
A dozen? Like 12?
Yes. The timing coincides with the spreading of the legend. Now, assuming that it really is the Ruin Wanderer, how do you suppose it was able to maintain a relatively good condition despite high-intensity operation over the course of several decades?
The restoration module. The restoration module. Who said it?
That's right. Technically speaking, the module shouldn't be able to move such a large machine chassis. However, I'm basing my knowledge on the mechanical life forms I've seen before.
You've seen such life forms before? You've encountered others besides Katara?
Well, this was over 100 years ago. It was a machine about the same size as Karkata, actually. It couldn't carry heavy objects or fight, and was only able to help me record some notes. It also helped me deliver letters home. I found it near the desert, which is why I wondered if there might be more restitution modules buried around here.
A mechanical life form from 100 years ago. Is it no longer around?
Honestly, people in ancient times might have already solved the problem of providing enough power for all I know. I'll need to research this properly.
Why didn't you go and investigate earlier?
Had I confronted Raid right there and then, he would have said that he couldn't tell that the machine was special. Then he'd just hand it over to the Academia obediently. And he'd get away scot-free. If the wreckage were to be handed to the Academia, it'd be much tougher for us to do research on it or get spare parts for Karkata. Anyway, we should figure out what they're planning before making our next move. They insisted that we should stay the night, which means if they're trying to pull a fast one on us, they're likely to try tonight. We must be vigilant.
Faint footsteps in the
Are
distance.
those sounds coming from the excavation site? I knew they wouldn't be able to wait. They must be scared that we might discover something tomorrow.
Got them shaking in their
Not a
boots.
single person guarding the campsite. This must be quite the manpower expenditure. I'll see if they left any clues behind at their camp. Keep watch and help me stall them if it comes to that, would you?
No problem.
All right. I'm counting on you.
You got it.
Why isn't the tent here yet? We need to switch it out tonight.
It's still on the way. I'm afraid this is the first time we're delivering such a huge one.
You good-for-nothings are just a load of trouble, aren't you? We wouldn't have to deal with these interlopers if you had kept those lips of yours from flapping. Hurry up and hide our current tent and deliver the new one to me tonight, no matter what it takes.
Get the job done, boy.
Who's there?
It's me, King Kalamesh.
I'm sorry. I'm just a bit upset because my subordinates aren't doing their jobs properly. When did you get here?
What's the delivery I hear you having trouble with?
It's nothing. Just a tent. We didn't pack up all our tents from the last campsite. Some of them, along with a few people, have been left there. Someone damaged our current tent, so I'm trying to get my subordinates to get one from that previous campsite delivered here.
And you're discussing that over here because...
The relics in the ruins are highly valuable, so I'm worried that treasure hoarders and bandits might try to steal them. Since the tent isn't here yet and I can't fall asleep, I came here to patrol.
There are people who steal these relics?
Well, these things are antiques after all. There will always be people interested in buying them. I hired so many people precisely because I was worried about that happening. Speaking of which, I'd like to ask, is the Academia really aware that you've traversed through the desert to come here in the middle of the night?
Excuse you? Do you not realize that your God is my best friend and I can walk around this nation as I please? Stop it.
Also, where's Faruzan? Why isn't she with you?
She's sleeping.
I'm right here. Also, you forgot to address me as Madam.
I like this background pic she got going on right now. This is tight.
Sorry, Madam Faruzan.
Yeah, learn some respect. And what's crazy is I'm older than her by like 400 years. So, off the rip, Traveler Faruzan.
You were all making so much noise that I couldn't sleep, which is why I got the Traveler to find out what was going on. But for some reason, that one task took forever. So I came to check in on the situation.
I'm very sorry for disturbing your rest. I'll tell my subordinates to be quieter on patrol.
Good. Come on, Traveler. Let's head back.
We're headed back already?
Yes. We came to check out the situation, didn't we? Well, we've already done that. We should get better rest so that we'll have energy to investigate tomorrow.
Excuse me. Wait, what was that? Was I mistaken? The thing not dead is still alive. Look, its booster rocket's not even it's about to kick up. This the same little ugly machine? Hold on, let me get a little closer. Yeah. The regular human machine remains motionless. This thing not dead. Oh yeah, this thing about to activate, I can tell. It's the same boss I farm for what's her face? For what's the character name? Layla. Yeah, Layla. It's the same character I farm, same boss I farm for her.
Thanks for dealing with them. Now, I found something good on my end. These are the excavation records from their campsite.
Okay.
According to them, the ruins have been raided before, with numerous traps and contraptions having already been triggered. I also observed the wreckage up close earlier. The weathering is nowhere near as extensive as on the relics that have been buried for over 100 years.
Also, I get the strange suspicion that they found the ruin area that she was trapped in.
There's no doubt that the wreckage and the ruins don't belong to the same era. Instead, it must have wandered into the ruins about a dozen years ago. It could have fallen into a trap or encountered a glitch within the ruins, remaining stationary like that until it was discovered recently. However, I still don't know why they'd want to hide it. I have no doubt that the researcher could definitely reach the same conclusion I did. The last few pages of the excavation records are written in code, which I still need time to decipher. The answer may lie within those pages.
You can decipher coded messages?
It's just wordplay. And if anything, that's my wheelhouse. Just a bit more. Ah, I see now.
Help!
Nope,
Please
I knew it.
help!
It's getting up.
Why are you running away? Come back! Protect me!
They ain't about to protect you, dummy.
What's that sound? Is it?
I knew it. It's gonna get back up. Is it on the move, or is it trying to fight?
The Ruined Wanderer? Reactivated? That's impossible! Is this the work of some kind of hidden mechanism? Never mind. We have to focus on saving lives first. I'll cover them. You go stall the Ruined Wanderer.
Let's get it. Wait. Where's it going?
What? It ignored the Traveler?
Why is it chasing after us?
What could have caused it to reactivate? And to give chase?
Darn it! Hey, on, you lot! It's clear that we can't escape, so let's just attack it!
Where's he? It powered down again. It folded itself like a lawn chair.
Yeah, it stopped?
Hey, you guys, get up there and tell me what's going on.
But what if it suddenly moves?
You good-for-nothings. Why is everyone I hired so useless? Move! I'll do it myself. Looks like this thing's parts can't handle the load of functioning anymore after years of disrepair. When it first reactivated, I was wondering if it'd be as amazing as the legends had pegged it to be. I didn't expect it to be so much weaker than it looks. How disappointing.
And you was talking all that hot stuff about the legends earlier being baseless.
Disappointing, you say? Now, is that because you won't be able to sell it for much?
Mm-hmm. Contraband.
Faruzan, you may be my senior as an academia researcher, but that doesn't mean you get to slander me.
You wrote these excavation records, did you not? Or perhaps calling it a ledger might jog your memory a bit better.
I don't recognize that thing.
January 3rd, excavated 5 tents. January 5th, 3 tents sold.
I ain't gonna hold you. The fact that Teyvat even has months like this, like January, February, that means they run on the same month calendar that we run on. So this is strange. The world of Teyvat, why is it that it feels so similar to this world of ours, to the Earth? Why it feels so similar? Why does it have months like this? You think they run on a whole different month calendar, but they don't.
January 10th, 1 special tent pre-sold. It must quickly be switched out with an old tent.
So 10 is your code name for relics. Ooh.
You're supposed to be an archaeological expedition team, and yet here you are, secretly selling the relics and profiting from it. When you believed that you had found the wreckage of the Ruin Wanderer, you tried to switch in wreckage that you had excavated previously to pull the wool over the Academia's eyes. After all, there would probably be many wealthy buyers interested in purchasing the legendary Ruin Wanderer in the black market, yes? And then we arrived just before you could finish your work.
I know Dory would want it.
That forced you to speed up your plan, and you tried to complete the switch overnight before I could investigate the wreckage. In your haste, however, you accidentally activated the Ruin Wanderer instead. Did I get that all right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's up, Ron?
You lack the curiosity befitting a man of knowledge, nor do you have respect for mechanical life forms. You're not fit to be a researcher.
Ridiculous. Curiosity? Respect? I'm not here to hear you preach. Hey, we're leaving.
Mr. Aid!
Uh-oh, it went back up.
Aren't you?
Oh no, is he about to get crushed by it? Oh no. Oh Lord.
Why is it moving again? Run!
Oh my God. Faruzan.
Some said that it was like a giant, while others said that it was like a beast. However, none knew why it wandered the ruins.
Technically speaking, the module shouldn't be able to move such a large machine chassis. However, I'm basing my knowledge on the mechanical life forms I've seen before.
Oh no.
Centuries? Impossible. I heard nothing about it back then. It could only have been around for a few decades at most.
Why is it chasing after us?
So you've been looking for me this whole time?
Why does it keep deactivating? Oh, there goes some more. Why are they looking for her?
Long time no see, Tamimi.
Oh. Bro, did I just witness a we just witnessed a horrible character death, or should I say NPC death. That man got stepped on. Oh my goodness gracious, and his body is buried in the sand. He is dead. What was this? Needy pen. No, let's read. Dear Madam Faruzan, these notes manuscripts were found on Titimi and have been inscribed and organized, and every one of them have been marked with your name. I hope that even after 100 years, future generations of students will remember your name, Madam Faruzan. Well, so this must be the people she was talking to while she was trapped. Tatimi's remodeling is going smoothly. As it is now, it can learn how to deal with various dangerous situations in the ruins of its own, on its own. I wish you could see it with your own eyes. As I worked, I kept thinking that you'd do a better job at this than I could. After all, you're the most exceptional student I've ever met. Alright, this is sad. This is 100-year-old stuff. I told you not to. Now look, so many people worried, even Tamimi. The messy scribbling has been repeatedly canceled and edited, leaving barely phrases and single neat messages at the back. Hurry up and come home for a meal. Your mom always makes an extra portion of food, you know. Oh, this is sad. To see you in 100 years. Almost sounds like that Attack on Titan thing. See, oh, I'll see you in 1,000 years, or something like that.
Dear Faruzan, I hope you're doing well.
This is her mother, isn't it?
It has been over 20 years since you went missing. People from the academia keep telling us to give up and that you're most likely dead. But somehow, I feel like you're still alive. Yes, that you live still in some corner of this world. You've always been persistent, able to shine no matter what situation you face. I believe that this persistence serves you well in surviving and finding your way home. Unfortunately, I likely won't be able to welcome you home when you do. I don't have much time left, and my reflexes have slowed. Others keep telling me to stop exploring ruins. Only Tamimi is still the same as before, always running off to places which you've been to. Your teacher and friends came up with an idea to remodel Tamimi, so it can search for you in our place. You didn't like coming home back then, and would always get Tamimi to send a letter back. Now we're leaving a letter with Tamimi. I wonder if it'll ever be delivered to you. I don't know the answer to that question, but if you ever read this letter, I hope it'll be when you've already found your way home. I regret not being able to say this to you myself, but I'll still feel sincerely happy for you, my dear daughter.
Welcome home, Faruzan. Look at you, Tamimi. You've changed so much after all these years. Thank you for waiting for me all this time.
I ain't gonna lie, I've been sitting here destroying those very mechanical machines is one of her friends. I've been destroying the things because they're the most annoying robot machine in this entire game. But this is a truly sad moment. This is a character story right here. The fact that they called it Hangout events is crazy to me.
I've safely received the letters. Your work is done now. You can sleep.
That's...
Tamimi, the mechanical life form I encountered back then. When I would go on expeditions, it would follow me, take notes for me, and send my letters home. When I met with that accident, it was on the way to deliver a letter for me. I once thought that I'd never get to see it again. I didn't expect my teacher and others to remodel its self-repair function, upgrading it to self-learning. And so, in order to plumb the depths of unknown ruins and overcome dangerous traps, it repaired and modified itself using parts it found along the way. One decade of wandering became many, and soon, Tamimi, which used to be incapable of even moving heavy objects, became the Ruin Wanderer. All so it could deliver these last letters from them to me.
Even though they had all passed on, they still prayed for your safe return.
The strain to support such a huge body must have turned out to be too much for your heart, right?
Tamimi?
Even after the remodeling, its restitution module still can't function perfectly in perpetuity. It has been pushing itself beyond its limits over the past few decades. Just like a living being, mechanical life forms have a limited lifespan. It probably became trapped in the ruins all those years ago because its shelf life had run out.
Anyway, I don't know why is it that people keep trying to enter my world while I'm in the middle of a story quest.
It most likely only reactivated because it detected my presence. And then it mustered up everything it had to deliver that last letter. Now, it can finally rest in peace.
Tommy.
Tainari told you what happened to me, right?
I'm sorry to hear it.
You don't have to apologize. It's not like this incident is a secret in the academia. Besides, I've always treated it as a failed experiment. As a researcher, I must accept this result.
Even though it's a failed experiment, you gotta acknowledge that's pretty tough to go through. The mental strain on your mind. We already seen how it looks like for a Conrian survivor of the cataclysm to live for more than 100 years. And it completely deteriorates the mind over time. So I can only imagine that you went through it, of course, to a lesser extent, but it's probably still just as mind-numbing. Went through all that and then come out of it barely able to talk and formulate words. Your brain got real jacked up.
However, finding out that so many people were affected by my failure does make me feel somewhat conflicted. Can you head back to Pardis DI first? We've been here for a while, and it's best not to make Kale and the rest worry. As for me, I want to stay with Tamimi for a bit longer. Just a bit.
That's sad, man. This is a truly sad moment. And not only that, we witnessed a crazy character death. I don't even know that many people even played her hangout event. I ain't gonna hold you. I haven't been playing a lot of these characters' hangout events. So now I'm more interested to do their hangout events. So from this day onward, for the next patch releases, which is next month, without a shadow of a doubt, which is coming up pretty soon, I'm gonna be pumping out these 4-star character quests. That's what I'm calling them, the 4-star character quest / hangout event, because this is a character quest. Shoot, this feels like they do it better than the 5-star character quest. Like, bro, come on now. This was great. Man, I wish I posted all my other stuff, but since it's a new one, I might as well start with this one. Granted, this video is probably turned into a whole more than an hour long of recording, but it's worth it. That death was crazy. I still can't get it on my mind.
You're back!
Wait, where's Madame Faruzan?
I'm gonna say it's pretty crazy, and she's going through an emotional moment right now. Tell the whole truth, keep Tamimi a secret. I'll tell the truth.
Oh no. She finally got to reunite with an old friend from 100 years ago. But
As a researcher, she could perhaps accept it. However, as a friend, a student, and a daughter, we should give her some time. Let's just wait for her here. And in the future, I hope that we can be here to support her as her new friends.
Isn't that just lovely? Wait until one day later, so let's go ahead and crank the time up. Where we at? That's truly sad that she went through that. But the Traveler, from what we can tell, the Traveler has lived more than 500 years, because it's clear as day that the Travelers have been jumping from planet to planet for years, and we don't know how long it's been. So the Traveler probably 500 years plus, for all we know. Granted, the Traveler has always had their sibling with them, so now that they've been separated, it's a different deal.
party.
Oh, she back in that character mode.
We've all been waiting for you, Madame Faruzan.
That's more like it. Now, here are some components I brought back from the desert. Switch these out with the ones Karkata is using right now, and it'll be back in ship shape.
I bet those parts belong to her friend.
Huh? Why do you all look so solemn? Come now. Liveliness befits youngsters more.
Madame Faruzan, did these parts come from...
I hope she don't get upset.
Come now. I thought that you must have encountered some major problem. This isn't something you have to worry about. Well, it looks like you already know everything. But no need to feel bad. Like I said before, as researchers, we must learn to accept our failures. Tamimi has been operating beyond capacity for a century, and I'm unable to repair it with my current abilities. Not even with these parts. It would thus be much better to use them to extend Karkata's lifespan. As a senior, it is only right that I do something for the people who come after me. That holds true for both researchers and machines. Besides, I didn't say that I would be giving you these parts for free. They will only be used for Karkata temporarily. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to help me with my research. I'll be sure to revive Tamimi once I've fully deciphered and replicated the creations of the ancient civilization.
Conria, which I have a little information on, and we have a wanderer around here. Go ask your god, the Dendro Archon. Oh yeah, she'll give you plenty of information. I'm pretty sure she can even tell you how they constructed the puppets. No, the wanderer will probably be able to.
All right, I'll do my best to help.
Me too. Although, I'm not sure if I'll be much help.
I hope to.
Thank you. If they could remodel Tamimi successfully even back then, there's no reason why we won't be able to do even better. And when that day comes, I'll be sure to say, welcome home, Tamimi.
This is a lovely picture. New friends, a new life, a new beginning. That was great. Let's get on to the next one.